Kido sent Beta basically as a character to infiltrate and try to figure out who these Great Saiyaman X characters are. Yo, this... Dude, I'm telling you, son. This is peak fucking Dragon Ball right here, yo. This is great.
Oh, that's that good shit.
This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. HelloFresh's goal is to build food solutions with the least possible impact on the environment. Use the link in the description below and use my code for 21 free meals plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ooch. I'm here with my brother Ooch and the homie Kai, and we are back again, once again. How y'all doing today? Boys, children of all ages, the trifecta is here. Your favorite podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, man with the orange and blue, Brother Ooch, take it away!
Fuck with me, nigga.
Wow. That was actually hilarious. That was great. So I need you to bring that every episode, but you gotta do something different.
So,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, you feel me? You feel me? Yeah, so that'll be fun. So, well, everybody, welcome back again, once again, for another episode of Full Power Podcast. It's your boys, your favorite trifecta, your favorite podcast of all time, all day, every day, coming at you here on YouTube, Spotify, whatever the hell you're listening to us, because we're basically everywhere at this rate. So, yeah, this week, of course, it's finally time for some relevant-ish, and we're talking about none other than Chapter 89 of Dragon Ball Super Manga. And I'm giving it a ding and some applause because I know people are hype, right? For that one. But before we get into it, Brother Ooch, how you doing today, sir?
all right, long day at work. You know, just glad to be back home.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
Little late night pod, I guess, you know.
Yes, sir.
It's going down. It's pretty good, though.
All right, nice. Nice, okay. Kai Cast Sama, how you doing today, sir?
I'ma just go with cool, calm, collected, and ready to pod.
Triple C's, I like it. Okay, gotcha. All right, that's good. As long as we're all in check, that's great. So yeah, it's formalities because I totally forgot to do them at the beginning of last week's episode. If you want to hear your name shout out at the end of these episodes, hit us over on the Patreon page, Full Power Podcast, over on Patreon. Of course, you get extra episodes as well, extra content, extra opportunities to see us talking about other things related to what we're already talking about. So there's some funny ones. Definitely, I mean, we're a bunch of goofs anyway. So, but yeah, go check those out at Full Power Podcast over on the Patreon page. If you have a comment, question, concern, business inquiry, or fan art, or you're trying to surprise us with something, I don't know, hit us up. fullpowerpod@gmail.com. That's fullpowerpod@gmail.com. And hit us up on the Bluebird over on Twitter at Full Power Pod. All right, so we got the chapter this week, and I'll just say this: I enjoyed it immensely. I really did, despite it being very like what's the word I'm looking for? Like filler-esque, or you know, like this is stuff that you guys. I'm the whole time I'm reading this, I was like, man, Kai and Brandon are not gonna fuck with this shit at all. They're really not. But I was having a blast. I reacted to it, of course, on my main channel. So go ahead and check that out when you get a chance. But yeah, no cap. I was actually enjoying it for all of the reasons you would expect me to. Okay, you already know I'm a big Power Ranger guy. I already love Great Saiyaman. So you know, I was in there. Like, dude, trust me. When I get this shit down, I'm about to be like, clean up, complete. I can't wait. Look at they're not with the shit. They're really not. They're really not. They hit me with the buzzer right now. All right, so let me just get to it so we could get it over with, and that way we can just, you know, kind of give our thoughts. So I'm gonna just breeze through the first 7 pages because we already talked about it on the last episode. So it'll be a lot quicker, so we don't have to spend too much time on this, right? So as we all remember, Trunks. He was trying to look at what was happening with like what was on that disc, right? And of course he finds he sees a little thing of like the cell larva, whatever it is, and then he gets the virus, and then he's like, oh my god, I don't know how to fix this, because this was on Bulma's computer. Then Bulma catches him, and then he hides it, and then Bulla, aka Bra, because I totally forgot her other name was Bra, right? She comes in, she fixes it. She's a genius. She's basically like Bulma. Trunks did not inherit none of those genes apparently, which, I mean, hey, it happens. We talked about this last week too, which is kind of funny. But then they cut to school, and Mai's there, and they're sending Mai there because she's like, oh yeah, you're a kid, you look like a kid, so you might as well just, so it's not fishy, right? Whatever. And so like everyone's like, oh, like new kid, and everyone's like all happy and everything, so it's all good and dandy, right? And then Beta comes in. Weird thing enough, Beta spelt it differently, I guess trying to hide what we were alluding to, because I figured like, this dude gotta be an android or something. And guess what? He is! We were right on that too. So the other thing I wanted to point out really quick was that as I was reading this, I was doing the thing where like I was calling it as it, was before it was about to happen. And I was like, man, this dude's fucking probably working for Hito. He's probably a motherfucking android. And yo, there's a scene after the basketball part, which I thought was awesome, because with the last page we saw was when Trunks was coming in with the, you know what I'm saying? He was coming in with the freaking crossover. But the page after that, which is New Territory, yo, my man Beta, he actually came in with he stole the ball from Trunks.
Why are we talking about basketball?
Yo, so anyways, right? So they have that whole thing going on, and during this, actually it was like momentarily before that, he had the part that confirmed it. He had like his eye like did a little zoom in thing, right? Which indicated, even in a manga panel, I knew that was what it was. I was like, cause what was the sound effect? It was like zzz, right? Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So I read that and I heard it. I'm like, oh yeah, he's an android, 100%. So Hito was watching it through the little freaking camera, of course, back at the lab, and he's having all these like conversations with the other androids or alphas, betas, whatever the fuck they are, and they're watching this happen. And Hito confirms that his actual name is Beta number 1, right? So then I was like, okay, so we learn later in the chapter, which I'm trying to breeze through. So I'm not like reading every little thing right now. So the whole reason why Beta's even there, I forgot to even mention this, was because just like with Mai's reasoning is because they don't want people thinking like anything weird is going on at Capsule Corp. So Hito sent Beta basically as a character to infiltrate and try to figure out who these Great Saiyaman X characters are. Yo, this... Dude, I'm telling you, son. This is peak fucking Dragon Ball right here, yo. This is great. All right. So he got him on an earpiece. And he's gonna take a pillow and a blanket. I'm asleep. All right. Go ahead. Get comfortable, right?
I like that.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so Trunks is assigned to pretty much obviously help Mai. Rula is assigned to help Beta, but then Mai notices that Beta has like some weird ish going on, and she notices that, oh, he kind of reminds me like an android. So he's not actually an android, but he's kind of like an android. So this confirms for us like, okay, well, they're not exactly, androids, but they're similar, but they're still like, functionally the same, I suppose, right? Like, because they don't have no power levels, none of that stuff. So that much was cool. So Hito suspects that Trunks is the suspicious one because he's looking for the disc that they have. So the next few scenes, Beta's trying to make Trunks have a reaction to reveal that he is like Saiyaman X1, right? And someone actually, I'm gonna give credit to whoever commented this on my reaction, but they compared all of this to a Superman scenario, Superman and Lois Lane, because there's a lot of times where when people was trying to, like, they had a hunch that Clark was Superman, and they were, you know, trying to make him like do something that would be like, oh, like that's what something like Superman would do. But every time Trunks would like he threw a football at Trunks took the hit, you know? And then the next thing you know, they were in the lunch line, and Trunks was like, oh, can I have a little more? And the lunch lady was like, no, everyone gets the same amount. And so he sensed Beta coming up from behind him, and he tried to dump his food in there, and Trunks had, and then boom, he got the extra portion that he wanted anyway, right? So it was like a lot of like comedy. This was a very comedy-filled episode. And so then later on, right, we're nearing the halfway point of this chapter, right? Goten almost like blows their cover because there was a ball that got hit by these nearby these nearby girls that were playing tennis, and he lifts up the car, like, and it kind of was they were paying homage. Do you remember how like during the midway scenes in a Dragon Ball Z episode where Gohan and Videl are like driving the car, and then Goten like just picks it up like with one hand? So it's kind of like the same thing here. So I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. So people were getting the sense that they essentially watched all the Great Saiyaman stuff back as they were writing this. This man is really asleep, yo. And then so Goten almost blew their cover because obviously the two girls that was playing tennis were like Saul, and he was like, and they were like, oh yeah, no, like the car actually didn't weigh that much, and Trunks was like, yo, you can't do that, like what's wrong with you, like no powers, like, you know, they're like off limits at school. And this is what made me realize that I thought Mai knew, but she apparently didn't know that they are like, you know, the Saiyamen, right? So then as soon as they saw that, because Beta was like creeping and watching on the corner, Hito was like, he said, get them. So that's when Beta reveals his real identity. Beta 1, he's a superhero. So he rips his fucking shit and he turns into Beta 1, like with a whole superhero getup on, right? And then Goten's like, that costume is so cringe. Are you a cosplayer or something? So they have all these jokes, right? And so basically he was gonna try to start a fight there to like, you know, start something going. But there was all these people around, like all these students and everything. So then he starts fighting. Goten's like dodging, ducking and dodging. That at least gave Trunks the opportunity to, you know, kind of run away and change it to Great Saiyaman X1, right? So then right when he was charging at Goten, and Goten was about to decide, like to make the decision of, oh man, he's like, I gotta fight back. Right. Trunks comes in, blocks him, right? And then Goten's like, Saiyaman X1, right? So he almost slipped right there. And then Rula and Scale, the other like side characters, there was like, oh, is he the one that saved them? And he's like, he's real in the flesh this time. And then Beta 1's like, who are you? And then the alpha androids or whatever back at Hito's base were like, he's the guy, I remember now, that's Saiyaman X1, that's the fella who beat us up. And then Hito's like, that's the real culprit, that's what we gotta get. So it's kind of like how with Superhero, remember how when the Gammas thought like the Saiyans were the bad guys? So Beta 1 was over here calling Saiyaman X the criminal. He's like, so you're the criminal we're after, right? So that's what happened. So Trunks is like, Beta number 1, was it? I don't know what you want, but I'm Saiyaman X1, and I won't stand idly by while you attack a student, right? Trunks got the whole shit with his superhero shit, and it's so funny to see. And low key, right? He was really sly with it. He literally like, he went. He's like, get the safety, student. But like on his other hand, he had Trunks' bracelet, because. Or you said Goten's bracelet, because it was still being made in the last chapter. So when he handed it to him, Goten's like, oh, and then Trunks was like, psst, here's your transformation, man. He's like, they finished it this morning, and he's like, thanks. So then of course Goten runs off. So now the fight it starts, and of course like you didn't have to worry, right? Like clearly Trunks and Goten have this guy, no problem. Like there's no power struggles, there's none of that shit, right? It's just a matter of like how much do they have to like put out to handle this guy, right? So literally Trunks backhanded him and he ended up all the way in the football field from where they was at, right? So then they took the fight to the football field and then he goes down cycle kick and he's like, you know, being mad superhero-ish. And the whole time they're watching this shit, right? Mai says something and she's like, that Sam X guy, I feel like I know him from somewhere, right? So that's when I was like, yo, she really doesn't know that that's Trunks. So then Hito, he's watching this fight and Hito is like, wow, he's so amazingly awesome and cool. So as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, this is where he gets the inspiration for the Gammas, 100%. Because we already knew that Hito was always a fan of superheroes. But I'm sure based off of the fights that he's seeing now with the Saiyamen, that is where he gets his direct inspiration from for when he makes Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. And it's funny because I think when you look at how like Beta, Alpha, I think Gamma comes after, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go. So he's Beta number 1, and then all the other Android things that he has back in the base are like the Alpha ones. So it's like he's been going through all this testing, he's trying to figure shit out, right? So he's even complimenting his Trunks' costume. He's like, what a sharp costume, it's so stylish, and yet we cannot lose this battle. He's like, you know what to do, Beta number 1. So then he hits his fucking belt. And like I said, this is why I fucking enjoyed this, because guess what happens next when he hits the belt?
Some new shit happens.
Yes, but be a little bit more specific. Try to be more kind of. Because remember, he's already morphed. He's already in his suit. So he hits the belt. Yo, he fucking basically turns into like a Megazord.
Ain't no fucking way, bro.
It's so godlike. He turns into a Megazord, but in this Megazord form, he's like none other than my battle jacket android Beta number 2. Oh my god! The crowd goes crazy, and everyone's like watching. And we're like, what the fuck is happening? So he shoots rockets and shit at Trunks, and Trunks is like, what the fuck? You can't be doing this here, you idiot! Not near the school. So Trunks now has to really play superhero, and he's catching the missiles and he's throwing them like at in nearby rivers and shit. And then nearby after that happens, like Trunks starts beating up on this Megazord, no problem, right? Like, you know, like you would expect, knocks him down. But because of him falling to the ground, the nearby people that was watching, Mai included, they fell as well. And so when that happened, her bag fell, and what was in the bag? The fucking CD. And so Trunks, of course, like, oh no, Mai, darn it. And then they peeped that she had the confidential disc. So then Hito was like, forget Trunks, go get Mai. So then, because obviously the target is this disc. So then he gets Mai. So now Mai is the damsel in distress now. This is literally like Superman Lois Lane. Like straight up. Like this is literally how it goes in your average superhero ship. So he gets Mai. So now Trunks is like, stop this, Beta number 1. And yo, Beta number fucking 2, or he calls him 1, but the Megazord is called 2. The bottom half, he turns around out of his ass side. I'm not even kidding. Out of his ass side shoots mad missiles. So now Trunks has to fucking go, and he does. He goes and he blocks and protects all the students from all these missiles. Like, this is literally like your average superhero shit right now. And then this dude dismantles from the bottom half so that the bottom half can stay shooting missiles, right? And so then he's shooting missiles. He tries to escape with Mai, and then Trunks was still trying to fight this bottom half. So then he does for a little bit, but then Goten finally comes in at Saiyaman X2, and he's like, I've got things handled here. You go save Mai. And yo, see what I mean? It's fucking... and then Trunks is like, X2, thanks a bunch. I fucking love it. So then he goes and chases him. But this is the cool part, right? He didn't even have to chase him like that, because then Hito's like, wait, what's this? A second Saiyaman? Like, Hito is hype right now. So then Trunks is like, you can't escape me, Beta number 1. Steam cleaner, high pressure. And he does this whole fucking shit. And it looks, dude, you remember how Naruto does like the Rasen Shuriken?
Yeah.
Dude, it looked like a wind tunnel. It looked like he had a Rasengan without the fucking sharp shuriken points, but he was like this, right? And he had it like that, and then when he said high pressure, it turned into this big ass tornado.
Oh, shit.
And it got him out the fucking sky. It destroyed the Megazord. It destroyed the man's suit. He was down to his boxers, right? This man was down to his boxers. Mai gets freed. Trunks catches her. But here's where it gets not really weird, but this is how you really know this is on some Lois Lane, Superman, Clark Kent shit. Because then she notices the bottom half of Trunks's like face. Like, so she sees him from the nose down. And because of that, you know, the same jawline as Future Trunks, because it's the same character, right? So she opens her eye and she doesn't see Kid Trunks. Like, she doesn't see Teen Trunks for Teen Trunks. She sees Future Trunks. So when she looks at, you know, she starts blushing. She's like, huh? Trunks? And then he didn't even hear that. So of course, Trunks at Sam and X goes, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you? And then she's like, I'm fine. And then he's like, phew, awesome. I'm off then. So then he goes right back to help Goten. And then Goten basically like handled Saiyaman, or the Beta 2, destroyed, right? No problem. And they go, clean up, complete. Oh, they got the stance. And then they do their fucking pose. They do the pose, and they're like, here to mop up evil, Saiyaman next 1 and 2, the cleanup heroes. And yo, I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. And then everyone in the crowd that's watching, they were like, you guys rock. And then someone else was like, was this some kind of promo for the cleanup movie? And the other girl was like, those were some high quality stunts. So like, there's people that thought they were really doing this shit. There's other people that thought it was just promoting the fucking movie, right? So then they fly off, of course. And then Trunks quickly, like the next page, like he runs back and he's like, oh, is everything okay, Mai? And then she's just like, you know, like looking off at where she saw them fly away. And then he was like, were some superheroes on the scene? Man, sucks that I missed them, right?
Bro, what the? And
then Mai, still blushing, she says, it's like some long forgotten feeling just came back to me. And then Trunks is like, what do you mean? And she's like, Saiyaman next 1 is actually impressive. And then he's like, oh, you don't say. Well, then the man behind Saiyaman X's mask is, and then Goten comes from behind him and covers his fucking mouth because Trunks is about to spill the beans, son. He's about to fucking spill the beans. And then Goten is like, I'm glad you're not hurt, Mai. Those two are heroes. Sure are neat, huh? And then Goten like whispered, and he's like, oh no, because Trunks was like he was covering it. And this was the interesting part that I wanted to pull out from this chapter, was that the speech bubbles, right? You know, when you read a manga or a comic, when someone's having a thought, they have like the circles that lead into like a cloud, right? So it's like a clear, you know that they're thinking to themselves,
a little bit,
right? And then when it's a direct, like when they're speaking out loud, it's like a sharp, you know, point to where the dialogue is coming from.
Suppose.
In this case, they were like speaking telepathically. And I was like, when could they have done this? Like, was that always a thing? Because it looked like Trunks in his mind said, what's wrong with you, Goten? And then Goten responded back saying, you are about to reveal yourself with everyone listening. So I was like, could they always talk like mentally? Was that a thing?
I don't know.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't think so.
Yo, because I remember, like, you know, King Kai he could do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like characters like Piccolo.
Telepath.
Yeah, like they could do shit like that. But like, I don't remember them ever doing it unless they were like, you know, touching them.
Right.
You know? So I was like,
I mean, what if they low-key picked it up off of like Piccolo, for example?
Imagine that. That's what I'm saying.
That'd be kind of crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
But they would need to dive into that.
Yeah. So in my reaction, I pointed that out and I said, and I was like curious. I was like, I wonder if that was a mistake or if that was intentional with the speech bubbles.
I mean, the only way we'll 100% know is when fucking dumbass anime comes out.
He said dumbass anime comes out. All right. So we're finally at the last 2 pages here, right? And so then everyone's like chilling and whatever. And then Mai's like, maybe I'll run into him again. And Trunks is like, like he's tight because he wants her to like him.
Yes.
And he wants her to know that the superhero that she adores now is him. And so then back at Hito's base, Beta goes back with like just in his boxers, right? He's like, sorry, I lost him. And Hito's like, indeed, this was a total failure. And he's like, I've never seen such awesome hero costumes. Right? And he's like, did you get their autographs? Yo, when he said that shit, I was, yo, see, I was fucking with that shit, right? And then Beta was like, no, I was fighting them. And then Hito's like, yes, of course. They're no more than wicked villains. And then he's like, no matter, at least we have our targets now. He's like, the disc must be retrieved at all costs, understood? And then Alpha 12's like, yup. And then Hito's like, and now to begin work on the next androids. This time, I'll make ones far stronger and cooler than those so-called heroes. And then everyone's like, heck yeah. And the very last panel, Hito says, wasn't Saiyaman X's 2 red cape just the coolest? Let's start from that. And with that is the chapter. And that's confirmation, because what do they wear? They had a red cape. Gamma 1, Gamma 2, definitely inspiration off of Saiyaman X1 and X2 confirmed. So boys, now that I've said everything there is to say, Kai, let us hear your riveting review of chapter 89 of Dragon Ball Super.
It was I.
Probably gonna be.
It was I.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it had its little funny moments, but it was just. It was I.
I mean, you tried to make it a little entertaining, but
listen. I didn't try. Okay,
You do a
And that's
great
the
job
honest-
making it entertaining, but like the content itself, like it's not there.
like if I read that shit, I probably would have stopped.
Ah.
I probably would have gotten through. Or I probably would have. I don't even know, bro. But,
You dubbed it.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, listen, I wasn't even, it's not even like I was trying to make this shit entertaining, man. I was just being me. The whole, like I am any other fucking episode, okay? Because that's how I keep it real. The real once. You know what I'm saying? We out
Can
here.
we talk about how busted Piccolo's telepathy is? Because like, he don't gotta.
he don't gotta
Like
touch
he
nobody.
did that in the time chamber. Like he was talking to Goten and Trunks when they were in the time chamber. Like this man literally broke dimensions with his telepathy. That's crazy.
Yes.
He just has to feel their energy. I'm pretty sure. Or,
But
like,
you
know,
can't
like-
when you're in there.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Piccolo's just different.
No, wait. Well, if we're talking
Yeah,
about
Piccolo's
that,
different.
they did feel like the pressure.
Yeah, it's the pressure.
You know, they did feel it back, like when they were like on the outside while they were inside training and all that type of shit. But yeah, no, your point is still valid though. Like, you know, Piccolo's telepathy, I can't speak, right? That shit's true because like, I mean, even though he was right outside the door, pretty much, right? But yeah, you know, that like being able to do that across dimensions at that point is pretty OD.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like, you know, because what you brought up, I was like, yo, like, I wonder if they did pick that up from Piccolo then, because it would make sense because like he used to talk to them like that. So I wonder, but because that was something that they kind of slipped in. And I was like, oh shit, you know, there is something, you know, outside of all the superhero stuff that, you know, I'm enjoying, but I know I'm not a lot of people are, right?
But I feel like that's something that's just one of those things that Dragon Ball just throws at characters whenever it's convenient. Because like if you recall, like I know this isn't really the same thing, but it's like skating along those lines is when Gohan was still a child and he was training with Krillin and they were like image training and they were, you know, just like meditating, but they were fighting in their heads. Like that's even crazier.
Yeah, I do remember that. Okay. No, I hear you. I definitely hear you.
And Krillin's a
But,
human,
yeah.
so if he can do it, shit.
Yeah, I guess it's not something too crazy, I suppose, because, you know, it's like one of those things that I don't want to say we took for granted, but it's just one of those things that you never thought about, you know, because it was just like, whatever, like if it happened, it happened. And then like, it was only from those few characters. And it's not like they ever needed to use that where it was like a dire situation. I mean, I'm sure it could have helped in a lot of situations. And then you have other characters like there for those reasons, like big example, obviously tying back to superhero, because obviously this is what takes place before that. If they could speak telepathically, I'm pretty sure they would have told Goku and Vegeta, hey, we need help. But guess what? They needed to rely on Bulma to call Whis to tell them. so
There's probably levels to this shit.
there is probably
Well, I
levels
was
to
gonna
this
say
shit.
there's definitely levels to this shit because like there's definitely levels with like Goku's instant transmission, like how hard he had to try to reach that distance, and that's Goku.
Right, and that's the other thing, you know, because I guess that right there we kind of figured out the boundaries of even Piccolo's telepathic powers, because if he could like reach out to them, he would have.
He would have.
But it was too far, so that's why he needed Bulma.
He could reach
and-
the time chamber, but he can't reach the Beerus' planet. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that kind of goes to show you how far in
Right.
like distance or whatever, you know, Beerus's planet actually is, because you know it's funny because for us as fans, and this is the part where I'm sure a lot of people don't realize, is like the way the whole scope of Dragon Ball is, we tend to forget very easily how expanded it really is, because the way it kind of comes off sometimes is as if like, oh yeah, like they're going to Beerus's planet, like it's like the same distance from like Earth to Mars or some shit like that, and that's not the case. Like, but that's how it could feel like sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, they frequent there all the time, you know, they're constantly going back and forth between those like planes of existence or whatever. But realistically, it's not something that you could just take a plane to and fly at, you know, like they gotta, you know, have the gods to literally help them to even get there in the first place. So I think like we should pay more close attention to that, because the second Goku and Vegeta can just show up on their own, that's when we know that they've really like ascended way further than what we realized, you know, because everyone just kind of measures everything with fighting and this and that and the third, but like, man, if you got that kind of like, yo, I could take myself to your house and y'all can't, oh, like how strong are you really, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine one day Goku decides he's gonna talk to Beerus or he's gonna talk to Whis, like he's gonna make the call without, you know, the ding, right? He's not doing that, right? Imagine he does it one day and then Whis is like, how did you reach me? And then Goku's like, oh, I just da da da, right? But I feel like Goku would eventually do some shit like that, you know, at some point. So yeah, those are my thoughts. But yeah, as far as the chapter goes, like you already could feel, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed all the superhero shenanigans. Not even shenanigans, just like how silly the chapter was. This chapter felt like a very like rooted, based Toriyama, like old school type of, you know, vibes with like all the humor, right? The comedy was there, you know, like I appreciated every little, you know, scene where Beta was trying to throw Trunks off to reveal his identity for being like some evil villain, whatever. And like Trunks was able to basically like dodge like every little thing or whatever. And I appreciate it for what it is. But as far as like, you know, the substance that we're all waiting for, I don't know. Here's the other thing too. I guess we can like segue off of it, like kind of, is like, you also have to take a look at the pacing right now. And this is kind of feeling like it's moving along really fast, which is a good thing in this case, right? Because I know y'all don't want to fuck with this shit, right? Like, I don't feel like anything's really dragging. I feel like every chapter has its purpose, and they don't leave things like really open-ended, where it's just like this chapter was from start to finish like a definitive like part of this arc. You know what I'm saying? Like chapter 88 started off, it had a lot of pages, so it had like, you know, an advantage. Then this is basically chapter 2 of this arc, 89, where they essentially continued where they left off, but they advanced the story even further, which makes me feel like by the time chapter 90 comes out, they might show us like the first little tease at the Gammas being created. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Just based off, because at this point, this is where I'm also confused as where exactly the story could go, because like since they're kind of throwing like all this new stuff at us, and this is like very out of the ordinary from what we're used to seeing, like how would you predict what happens next?
Well, So how many pages are in a volume?
It all depends. It's well, in a volume, because Dragon Ball chapters tend to be between 40 to 45 pages, then the volumes usually have maybe 4 chapters average, I think, like 4 to 5 if that.
So how many volumes does it take to make an episode?
That also depends on
average.
I mean, of like, okay, if
I
you're
mean,
trying
let's
to
look at Z. Isn't Z like 298 episodes, something like that?
yeah, but it had a lot of filler, like a lot of filler.
Yeah.
So that's like, looking at the episode number is not really like, it's not really like reliable is the best way to put it, because of that, you know, like, think about all this shit with like Goku and Piccolo trying to get their license. You know what I'm saying? Think about all the episodes of Snake Way. Think about like,
Snake was
yo,
crazy.
and see, back in the day when we didn't know what the fuck filler was, and we're watching this shit, we're just like, oh my god, this shit is taking forever. Like this man fell in hell and did all this other side quest shit, and then he finally gets to King Kai and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of that was filler.
Straight.
So it's hard to gauge. But I mean, overall, Dragon Ball Z's manga was 26 volumes long. And I could, let me see, I could check the app. I could just, matter of fact, I could just check this, the Annie list right here.
And on average, like there's like 40-ish pages per volume?
For Super specifically because it's a monthly. Remember, yeah.
You know, because I don't know how long this shit's gonna be. Like you would think it's gonna be, I would hope it would cap at like 12 by 12 episodes, you know, 12 episodes long. So however many volumes that would take, like that would be my cap. This arc should not last longer than 12 episodes.
It might be less.
And that's me being nice.
That is very generous of you, actually.
That's me
Holy
being
shit.
nice, because that's what an arc is, you know.
That's what an arc is for a lot of other
No,
animes.
That's not what an
is.
arc is. This is 2023. That's a whole motherfucking season. And if you're Attack on Titan, nigga, that's 3 seasons.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Like that, like 12 episodes is pretty 12, like 11, 12 episodes. That's pretty much a season. So I'm basically giving this arc a season, and I really shouldn't be. Like because I can't see them, you know, stemming off or giving this like half a season and then stemming elsewhere. Like I don't see that really happening unless they're trying to do this, and then like halfway through this season they'll progress into the super shit, like into the superhero movie, and then get that shit out the way. But by the end of the season, like predicament.
Yeah.
But
so
that's just me hoping.
Yeah, see, like, I feel like the more realistic approach when it comes down to like trying to compare it to like how many episodes this is gonna take. I mean, obviously we're gonna have to see how this all plays out, obviously, right? But I feel like for something like this, like if my predictions are accurate and it stays this way, it flows the same way, it paces itself the same way, I believe that for one, this shouldn't be that much longer. We might get maybe 4 to 6 more chapters, and that'll put us like well into the summer, right?
Well into the summer.
Yeah, well into the summer. For anime's perspective, I would say 6 to 8 episodes, and that's it. 6 to 8. You could fit that shit on one disc.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
This arc, since it's supposed to be a prequel, a prelude to the superhero movie, I can't imagine it going so long. Like, this is not your average arc that they're giving us where we don't know how long it's gonna be.
And how long until the anime comes back?
Well,
we still don't know.
That's something we've been asking for like 4 years.
We're probably not gonna get that shit till next year then. So scratch that shit.
You really think we're in 2023 now?
But like
October.
Aren't we already getting spring animes? Or like when, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when's that? When our spring anime is officially out?
Well, see, it's different because it's Dragon Ball. They look, you know how Dragon Ball, they go on their own time. They don't fucking listen to what season it is. They don't give a shit about that. They will drop whenever they want to drop.
Nah.
It's not like Black Clover and My Hero and Attack on Titan even. They all have some sort of structure, even disregarding how many part of a final that Attack on Titan has. You know what I'm saying? Even disregarding all that shit, they still have like, okay, this is when we're coming out. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Ball don't do that. They'll literally, they'll right now, the way it's been the last several years, they don't say shit. They just leave us fucking hanging on this tiny little piece of hair. And the second anybody, it doesn't even matter. It could be from all the way to geekdom to some random on Twitter that ends up deleting their account anyway because they fucking ask themselves out trying to be like, oh yeah, I have all this information and this is what's gonna happen, and then none of it happens. Head ass, right? And like, but everybody hangs on anything. I can make a fake account right now, a fucking Easter egg fucking account right now, no profile picture, nothing. I could just be like, all right, Super's coming out on May 9th. And you wanna know why?
Sources these nuts.
Right. I'll literally be like, May 9th. Why? Or no, is it May 9th?
Goku Day.
Or, yeah, you know where I'm getting at. Goku Day, right? That's a real day in Japan. And because by association, we are fucking looking at everything that they're doing, despite them not wanting to look at shit that they're doing, we know what Goku Day is. So I can make a fake account right now. I'll be like, yo, Super's coming back. It's gonna be called Dragon Ball Super Z2X, right? And it's coming back on
Again.
Goku
What?
Day.
Again.
Exactly, right? Fuck yeah, hyping it up, and people are gonna, and they will like it. They'll retweet it. They'll be like, oh, this new account. Oh, my views. Oh. Like that's what's good. Yo, that's what people are going crazy. They've already lost their minds. Not people are losing. It's gone. It's gone already.
Talk about
That's
Dragon
how it
Ball
goes.
Super. People be like,
Yeah. So I don't know. Either way, as far as this chapter is concerned, or the arc, I would be surprised if it actually goes beyond June. Like whatever number chapter is. So like 90 is February, 91 is March, 92 is April, 93 is May, 94. So if chapter 95, this shit is not done, that's OD. We're looking at July. I'm hoping. That's like a big prediction, right? Just off of nothing. So take it for what you will. I did look up the chapter numbers for Z. Z had 325 chapters. I was right about the volumes, 26 volumes. Yeah. Super is currently at 17 volumes with only 89 chapters, and that makes sense because, it's not a weekly release. Dragon Ball Z was releasing on a weekly basis. This shit's coming out once a month, and they're longer. Dragon Ball Z chapters back in the day, Dragon Ball chapters back in the day, those were like the actual average, like 15, 18 pagers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's got to be a math to this shit.
Well,
Because
sometimes. It really depends on the content. It depends on the content, and it depends on how much dialogue versus action.
Because do they take... They don't... In the anime, they don't take page per page. Or page for page, right?
Well, that's the thing, because you have to remember, animes are adaptations.
Right.
So, which means that there will be changes. And that's where filler content comes from. Or comes in. That's where it comes in. So, like, if they want to add a little extra dialogue, or they want to throw in some random scenario that didn't happen, there you go, anime.
No filler.
Yeah, when you want no filler, you got to look at things like fucking Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood or some shit like that.
Look at Bleach.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about?
That fucking 1,000-year Blood War arc. Yeah, check out the reactions. All 12 episodes. Out here. Bleach was fire. See that? Yeah, Dragon Ball needs to look at what Bleach is doing. They need to take a fucking page out of Tite Kubo's book. Be like, all right, this guy, he took a break because of health reasons. Now he's back again once again. This guy's fucking firing on all cylinders. Okay, he told Studio Mappa, fucking make this shit godlike, and that's what they're doing, and they're apparently gonna make it even better now. So I can't wait to see what the fuck that shit looks like. But yeah, so should I look at comments now? Because yeah, okay. Let's look at comments. All right. So from the top, let's see. So this person was nice enough to say that they just spent the last month catching up to the podcast from the beginning to now. And they said that we've grown a lot and keep up the great work. Shout outs. That's a very nice thing to say. Thank you so much. Yeah, we definitely have grown a lot for sure. Especially just with like how the presentation is and everything like that. Cause we didn't have no jingles back in the day, right? We definitely had no Barney. Didn't have none of that shit. So yeah, we're just trying to give you guys the good vibes, every week, as always. Oh yeah, and then of course they responded to my thank you, and they said that they can't wait to hear more of y'all's theories over the current chapters and future ones. We're giving it to you. And then they said that they might even throw in some head-ass theories for y'all to have a laugh at. So, those are always
Dangerous.
dangerous, yeah.
With the what ifs?
Sometimes, yeah.
No what if.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What if? Yeah, I wish this a great day. Yeah. So hopefully you're having a great day, especially after listening to us and when you're not listening to us. This person says Meta Cooler, their favorite Dragon Ball Z movie. I love the Goku and Vegeta moments.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie from what I remember. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's one of the movies I want to rewatch, to be honest. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You ever get like that feeling where it's like, yeah, it's been too long since you've watched like shit you used to watch like all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
I saw this.
Depends.
I saw this clip somewhere. I think probably like Twitter the other day of like Boo and Kid Boo and Super Saiyan Goku fighting it out, and it was just like such a perfect clip. I was like, damn, I gotta watch that shit again.
Yeah. Yeah, the good old days.
Because like everything going on lately with Dragon Ball is not making me been enjoying it lately. Just
That's fair. Teach their own. Yo. The fucking shaking of the heads, man. Oh my goodness. That is so fucking funny. But yeah, I mean, Meta Cooler, yeah. So fun fact, I have a playlist called Anime Push on Spotify, right? And it's basically a playlist that is filled with songs that they're either from anime or make me feel like they could be in an anime, right? And they when I have that shit on, they help me fucking get it, right? And one of the songs that's in there is actually from the Cooler movie, where Goku literally, when he turns Super Saiyan, right?
I was gonna say, is it when he healed the bird?
Yeah. Yes, 100% when he fucking healed the bird. 100% when he healed the bird. Cause bro, you cannot tell me that shit was not raw. That was OD. He did the Jesus no Jutsu before Naruto.
So,
That bird was fucking dead.
So are you saying that's the one that gets you hype, like OD?
Oh, it's one of the moments. It's
Okay.
one of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was gonna say
Yeah,
like
nah.
mine for gym shit.
Mm.
My skin is cold.
That's
21.
no.
Yeah.
Trapped within this somebody. Morals and no. I don't even know what the fuck they're saying. I don't care. Because guess where that movie,
said,
guess
"I
what that
don't
song is
care."
from, Brandon? Guess what that song is from? Oh, dun, 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 my soul. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. You just one word. Kakarot. Come on.
21. Sad.
That song
Nah,
from the first Broly movie, of course. If in case you guys couldn't fucking get the sing along, right? Yeah, those two songs are in there. That one is in there. The one I'm talking about is in there. And it's so weird because, like, I remember one time I forget what machine I was doing, I can't remember if I was on an ab one or if I was doing a leg press. And as soon as I think it was a leg press, because as soon you know the part in the drop where like, you know, for the cooler moment when he heals the bird and shit. And like I don't even know the lyrics. Of course I don't know the fucking lyrics, right? I just be I watch you change and you. Yo, dude, when that part came on, I said, I just fucking pushed that shit. I had 3 plates on each side. Fucking leg press. Shit was I saw that moment when yo, that shit was so sick. This is what I mean. You look back at Dragon Ball Z. Yo, Dragon Ball Z has some raw shit. That's like OD. And those songs, and that's what I'm saying too.
Everything these days is bitch made now, though.
What do you mean is bitch made? Like, explain.
Like censorship wise.
Censorship wise?
Yeah, you know, like what they're allowed to show or say or like put out. So I feel like that's another reason why a lot of like older shit is more raw. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but that's just a pattern I've noticed.
I think it depends on the series then at that point.
Yeah.
Because certain things can get censorship.
But I mean, think about it. Dragon Ball's like that because it used to be more. I don't know. I feel like it definitely used to be.
Well, that shit was censored. That was censored for us, and we didn't realize it.
No, it was, but I feel like it's more so now. You know?
I don't know. Like Super, I didn't think like, yo, when they had blood in there, they had blood in there.
Bleach
is not censored. No.
Yeah, that I know.
No. Yeah.
It's not meant to be.
Demon Slayer is not censored.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on the series. Like, not, and plus, like, a lot of this shit, like, I like, if I was to even have to guess where it would be, I mean, that's part of the reason why Toonami's on late. You know, because if they're trying to keep it like, you know, like intact with how it was intended to come out, then they're not gonna fucking censor that shit.
I mean, honestly, anything with swords, powers, and all that type of shit should not be censored.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the point?
Right. Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that one too. But yeah, that was, and the other thing that I was gonna say before was that, like, a part of the reason why a lot of these moments that we remember are so fucking raw and hyped and like OD is because of the selection of music that was used.
Yeah,
you know,
yes,
like
sir.
I will always, I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna die on this hill, okay? Because I'm gonna live thriving on this hill, like the thriving Ozaru that we fucking are, okay? Because like we're not the only ones that grew up with listening to all these fucking dubs in the first place. And all those movies had their own soundtrack that featured like bands and like, you know, artists that were like, you know, they were not like actual Japanese composed like pieces. And obviously Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, they were all made to fit a more Eastern kind of show. And it shows because when you look at anything from that time period, from like the 80s all the way through the 90s, a lot of the anime, especially with Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, they had that very, like, you know, the horn, like all that type of shit.
Yeah.
The same thing exists with Godzilla. Same thing exists with Super Sentai. Same thing exists with Kamen Rider, Ultraman. They all share the same type of properties and that same similar sound, where it's like their version of heroic shit is like that over there. So when they brought it over here, they felt like that shit wasn't gonna hit the same. So that's why they added a lot of rock and metal. And I mean, look, remember fucking Rock the Dragon? Come on, son.
Yeah,
People do not give that song enough respect. Everybody's all about fucking the class, the shala hey shala. Like, yes, I am not shitting on that song.
I got tired of that shit. Not get
Which one?
Shala.
Oh, you did?
After a while, yo, that shit.
Yeah, but see, right. So it's like you hear that all the time. You hear the remixes, you hear people's versions of it over and over, and then one day, watch, pop in Rock the Dragon. That shit's gonna hit different. you're gonna start noticing, and you're gonna be bobbing a little bit harder to that shit. That shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like this, we can only have in our version. So I guess the moral of this whole thing that I'm saying right now is like what you like and don't hate on the fucking dubs. Okay? Just don't do it. Because the majority of the fans right now, because, yo, and funny enough, and this is a fun fact, and you could take this and apply it to anything. You can tell how old somebody is based on what they tell you. I mean, don't ask Geekdom because he's biased. You know, he's going to tell you, like, oh, yeah, well, no, watch it in Japanese because else you haven't watched it, right? Like, the real version. Which
and that's
is,
the
there's
thing,
truth
too, is
behind
like
that.
because of the music, it brings such a different vibe to it, you know? Because like
Yeah.
Rock the Dragon is, you know, metal type music. It's very like headbangy type hard shit. Then you hear fucking cha la. Like it's not the same shit. It's just
He fucking Carlton. Oh shit. Yeah.
it's just not.
Nah. Yeah, no, that's facts. That's 100% because like when you think of it like this, you know, like you can't deny like like what I was gonna say before was that you can tell someone's age if they tell you that a lot of this music that obviously we grew up with, and like we're not all the same age, right? But like if you grew up with watching Dragon Ball Z, okay, you're not gonna hate on any of that music.
Right.
You might if you're a purist and then you after the fact discovered the original shit and with all the original audio tracks and all that stuff, and if you're the purist like that, whatever, you like what you like, you got that, that's fine. I enjoy it for different reasons because I know how to appreciate everything. But you can tell if someone's fucking a youngin' if they're straight up out the gate, frame one, they're like, yeah, no, all this shit sucks. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna tell me you're gonna load up Broly 2. You're gonna load up Second Coming DVD and you're not gonna leave that shit rocking for 10 minutes? Cause you remember how that shit was.
Broly 2, yeah.
Yo, I remember when I popped that DVD in for the first time. We was at Dad's house. Had a big ass fucking CRT fat fucking TV. That shit was so big. That shit was
TV
huge.
was thick.
It was 50. It was one of those 55-inch Johns, but they had the that shit. Oh my god! It was
Pause.
like, yeah, yo. But why was it so big? Why? But that was the technology back in the day. Now everything's
Yeah,
flat.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Had that shit in, popped in that shit, and of course Dad had the surround sound. Of course he did. Okay, what Dominican do you know not have surround sound? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? This man had the whole shit. He was ready. Popped the disc in. I heard that music, Kai. I didn't hit play for like, I didn't hit play for like 5-10 minutes. I was letting that shit. Damn. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. I can't believe why. Like, yo, this shit has no reason to be this hype. But guess what? Dragon Ball Z Foundation.
See, that's how you bring back DVDs and shit. You gotta make the menu music slap.
Yes. And that's kind of, I low-key wish that, like, for dubs, I wish that they explored with using unique music for the English version or, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that would make ours, you know, stand out a little bit more. Because when you think about it, it's like, well, if we're gonna adapt the original and we're gonna keep all those things like, you know, script and intention and characters, as long as those things are all the same,
they be fucking that shit up all the
well,
time.
no, that's what I'm saying. If yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if all that shit stays intact, there really shouldn't be any reason why they couldn't like explore or just go back to how they used to do it for us when we were kids. Because all I'm saying is that shit would be fucking sick if we had, obviously, like if you want to watch a Japanese version, you watch a Japanese version, you get the Japanese score. But yo, imagine if we got a score for that was different, that wasn't, you know, just Japanese, because, you know, like they, you know, everyone understands where it comes from. But I don't know, like I guess this is me just, I miss how a lot of that shit sounded. And like, come on, the Super Saiyan 3 track is very, very strong and still popular to this day, even despite all of the criticism that Bruce Faulkner would get and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I just miss that rock sounds for Dragon Ball sometimes. You know.
I don't even remember how to. We had to play. We had to press play on that shit.
For what?
DVDs? I haven't. I haven't watched nothing on DVD in so long. I don't even remember no.
That's crazy. This is coming from the.
Don't you
This is coming from the.
DVDs have chapters too. You'd have to like select what part of the DVD you'd want to skip
Yeah, I
to
don't-
if you were coming
Unless
back
you
to
were
it.
hitting play all.
Huh?
Unless you were hitting play all,
Forgot all them fucking options.
dude.
I just thought you popped the disc in, boom.
No, you really don't remember.
No.
I haven't touched
What?
the DVD in years. Decade.
Yeah, well, okay, for you, yes, probably. I feel like the last time you popped a DVD in was literally what I'm about to say. This is coming from a kid who literally, religiously watched every single Orange Brick disc from start to finish on repeat. So he would go through all 9 sets.
Yeah, but he never
And
got
then
a
when he
chance
was
to see
done-
the menu because as soon as it would end, he was just playback.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. The fact that you don't remember how just a movie works, like you just put it in the fucking
I
player.
haven't seen it in fucking
That is how crazy the world is now, yo. Everyone's on Netflix,
Netflix,
Hulu,
Crunchyroll,
Crunchy, Disney
Nah,
Plus.
Hulu really slapped though, especially for anime people.
Yeah, who's in there? A little
Hulu
bit.
really holds it down.
I only used Hulu recently. I've only used Hulu for Bleach. That's the only thing I had to use it for, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was always flip flopping between Netflix.
I'm just glad I didn't have to
Hulu,
get
and
fucking
then some
Disney
of
Plus
Crunchy.
for Bleach. Because that was a time.
That was a time, remember? Well, the funny thing is, it wasn't like they were totally false, but it was more or less that Disney Plus Japan is what has Bleach. That's what it is. So like if I was to VPN that shit right now, I could, be like a fucking, I don't even know what you call them shits, a hipster. It's like, look at me guys, I'm watching Bleach on a Disney Plus.
Ain't no word.
Yeah. So, all right. I think, there's more
How's
comments
the
obviously,
weird
but
Blood War on Disney Plus. They really got me fucked up.
yeah, because I don't know if they have Hulu. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't, but I guess, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know that Japan has their own like subscription-based service for anime. I just don't know what it's called. But I know that they have one. But everything's about rights. You know how that shit goes. You know how that shit goes. All right. Well, you know how this shit goes because now it is finally time for the Patreon shoutouts. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Jayante Sheridan. Oh, thank you. Shout outs to Jarek Rivera. Thank you. Shout outs to our boy Lewis Barnett. Thank you. Shout outs to our boy Mark Wesley. Thank you. Shout outs to Soul Awakens. Wake your ass up. Shout outs to our boy Mr. Washed. Wax on, wax off. Okay. And here we go. We got a new one. Shout outs to Travis Boyette. Thank you. Thank you for being Thriving Rosaru. And from the land of the rising sun, our boy, Juice Dad. Thank you for being a Thriving Ozaru on Patreon. And if you want to hear your name shouted out at the end of these episodes, then of course, feel free, hit us up. Link in the description below. You can get some extra episodes. And sometimes you get early previews that, like we're trying to make a post on what we're working on or whatever. And you get the extra episodes. I don't know if I said that already, and if I did, I'm sorry, but you get your name called out. So check out the tiers and all that kind of stuff on the Patreon page. It helps us out, obviously, with paying things like this off. And we're still in progress. We're trying to get this studio straightened out and all that stuff. So still pending, but with your patronage, it's definitely going to come a long way and help us out in the long term. So consider becoming a patron today. All right. And if you have a comment, question, concern, business inquiry, or fan art, or you're trying to sponsor, or if you're trying to help in any way, shape, or you got editing skills, send us a reel. Let us know. Be a part of the staff of the Full Power Podcast over at fullpowerpod@gmail.com. That's fullpowerpod@gmail.com. And Kai.
Wait. Hold up a second here.
The bluebird. Fucking bluebird.
That's all I wanted. All right, continue.
Follow us on the Bluebird.
I got what I
Oh,
wanted.
we're on Twitter. Yeah. So you're gonna volunteer as tribute next week then?
I ain't gonna say it like yo.
Oh, now that's why I want to. I want Bluebird. Hit us up on the Bluebird. I'm trying to hear that Brother Ooch remix. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to hear.
Yo, he thought about it for a moment. He's like, hold up, I might be cooking something.
Yeah. Brother Ooch.
How about that?
Let's go. Yeah, see, that'd be fire. All right, guys. Enough silliness out of us. Make sure you like and share and subscribe and hitting us up. Full Power Podcast. Full links in the description for all the ways you can support us. It's been your boy Ooch, the lethal one, Brother Ooch, and the homie of all the Kais. And Brother Ooch, do you have anything left for the people at home?
Stay fresh, stay clean. Boom. Simple.
Kai, guys, you got anything left for the people at home?
Nope. Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right. Well, take care of yourselves. May the power protect you with luck loaded right here on this podcast. Stay safe, stay clean, and stay the hell inside. And we'll see y'all next time.